Chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đến với chương trình Tôi về Việt Nam trên kênh truyền hình FBNC. Thưa quý vị, vào ngày 30 tháng 10 năm 2014, tại Việt Nam diễn ra một triển lãm rất lớn về bán lẻ và franchise, tức là nhượng quyền thương mại, tạo điều kiện cho rất nhiều các doanh nghiệp Việt Nam có cơ hội được giao lưu cũng như là tìm kiếm cơ hội để nhượng quyền thương mại với các thương hiệu quốc tế. Và nhân sự kiện này, chúng tôi được hân hạnh được chào đón đến trường quay ngày hôm nay hai vị khách mời, đó là chị Hsein Naidu, Tổng giám đốc của Astreem Consulting, là một đơn vị tư vấn về nhượng quyền thương mại, và anh Harry Ang là Tổng giám đốc của chuỗi nhà hàng Lion City, một người đã có nhiều năm kinh nghiệm kinh doanh chuỗi nhà hàng tại Việt Nam. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for
Welcome to
having
the
us.
show.
Thank you for your invitation.
So, Ms. Naidu, we have the coming event, the show, Vietnam's International Franchise and Retail, which is a very big show and provide a lot of opportunities for the local Vietnamese franchisees to talk to the many international brands. So from your experience, you are from Singapore, right?
That's right.
So right now, how is the level of interest of Singaporean franchisors about Vietnam's market?
Actually, Singaporean franchisors have always wanted to come into Vietnam. It was a matter of timing, and I do think that with the vibrancy that's amidst the economy now, a lot of franchisors are looking to come in. For the show you're talking about, we will be bringing about 10 brands with us to participate in this show.
And when they look for franchisees here, what is their expectation? What are their expectations?
Okay, so more than just the obvious financial expectations, it will be things like whether the franchisee is able to do a successful business plan for the concept, whether they can have the capacity to grow the business, whether they're willing to follow the systems, how they do their marketing, and whether they are willing to build a strong team that can support the franchise as they grow the units, because most franchisors wanting to enter a country will not be looking for single unit franchisees. They will be looking for area developers or master franchisees to help them grow their brand.
So there's like related experience related to the industry. Is that important for the franchisee if they want to get a deal?
Okay, if you are in the industry or in the sector, obviously there are some benefits. But of course, on the flip side is that if you already have the experience, you may not necessarily need to get a franchise, right? So usually the experience itself is not paramount in that particular sector, but business experience, management experience is important.
Sure. So Mr. Ang, you're now running 6 restaurants in Vietnam.
Actually, 7 restaurants.
7 restaurants, and 4 of them are franchisees?
Actually, 7 restaurants and 1 food court. We own 3 restaurants, but the rest are all franchise.
Franchises. Yes. Could you share with us some of the experience when you look for the franchisees?
Basically, looking at for franchisees, we don't really look for franchisees. Basically, people who are interested in running our kind of model, which we have proven that it's quite successful in Vietnam. So what they do is they come and approach us. And when they approach us, what we look at is normally we have some questions to ask them. If that role fits into what we are looking for, we will go further. Like for example, when they look for us, we will ask them, find out some background about them, whether they are working for people or they are running their own business. From working with people, what kind of salary they do earn every month, because that's very, very important to us. If they earn a very low income, so their expectation will not be high enough to match what Lion City is looking for, because we are looking for like a franchisee who operates a restaurant at a very, very high turnover, provided of course they have to find a good location. You see, and from there, of course, the most important of them all, they must believe Lion City is a brand of franchise that they are seriously looking at following our strict rules.
So for the franchisor from Singapore, when they look for the franchisees, do they look for big companies, or can it be like startup and entrepreneurs?
The idea about franchising is so that it can actually reach out to people who want to build a business. It does not necessarily have to be a big conglomerate. Obviously, if you're a big group, it goes to also mean that it might be easier for them to find locations, easier for them to have human resource to fund the project, and also they can easily train their people as well using their existing HR. But the nature of franchising is such that it is for people who want to get into business, for people who want to run their own business, and for people who want to build franchise organizations.
So when it started, you do the negotiation or started the first talks between the franchisor and franchisees, what were usually the biggest challenges between them?
Okay, so franchisors will have one set of expectations and franchisees will have one set of expectations. One would imagine that it is the franchise fee that is the
Franchise fee.
most discussed topic. But actually, at the end of the day, once the franchise fee and royalties are negotiated, it is actually all the rest of the items on the business plan that is most important. And it turns out it's not the franchise fee, it's not even the royalty, it's how the business model is going to be when the master franchisee takes on the franchise. How they grow, how fast they grow, what is the split of revenue between them, the master franchisee, and the franchisor, where the supply chain is coming from, where is the intellectual property residing, what is the franchisor offering as support, and what is the franchisee doing to protect and build the brand.
So Mr. Ang, do you have those kinds of problems?
The problems are many. What she mentioned was, it's very true. Through our experience, without having a consultant behind us to get our franchise running, that was something of nobody have ever thought of. But we were willing to go through the experience to know the first-hand experience of what franchisee is about and franchisor.
Is there a big difference in terms of business mindset or business behavior or thinking between Singaporeans and Vietnamese?
No, that's very obvious. I mean, if you talk about Singaporeans, we work, we have a vision, we go for our vision, we go for our goal. Whereby the mindset in Vietnam is a little bit different because probably it's because I think from my 14 years experience in Vietnam, they are not so exposed to what franchising is all about, like in Singapore. We are very exposed to franchising, so we rather know more than what they have. But if put them in Singapore for a little while, they will understand us better.
Thank you. We come back after a short break. Thank you for sharing. Thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là những chia sẻ của chị Hsein Naidu, là giám đốc của Astreem Consulting, một đơn vị tư vấn về franchise, và anh Harry Ang là tổng giám đốc của chuỗi nhà hàng Lion City, một chuỗi nhà hàng kinh doanh theo mô hình franchise tại Việt Nam. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình này trên website fpnc.vn và đồng thời cũng có thể xem trực tuyến cùng lúc với những chương trình đã phát sóng trên TV tại phần đầu của trang web fpnc.vn và cập nhật thêm thông tin trên trang facebook.com/tôi và Việt Nam. Chúng tôi sẽ còn quay trở lại trong phần tiếp theo.